Clara had spent 3 years preparing to be my replacement. The CEO fell for penniless Stella, and there was no stopping him. His adoration for me was well known. Stella, thank you for all that you've built these past years. From now on, your husband, everything you have, will be mine. I looked at Clara, who was my spitting image, and at the rest of my family, who silently condoned it all. Your sister is right, Brenda said. She'll marry into the haze, and we'll reap the benefits. Not like you, you ungrateful wretch. Humph, you think you can replace me? Marcus could tell which strand of hair was mine with his eyes closed. Trying to replace me was delusional thinking. No, I never intended to replace you. But as long as you're dead, I'll be your only replacement. They threw me to Marcus's enemies. When found me, every inch of my body was battered and bruised. He compensated Clara for all the guilt he felt over me. She became the perfect substitute. I never imagined I'd open my eyes again, only to find myself back on the day of their treacherous family dinner. What, you've gotten used to gourmet dishes and now look down on us with these scraps? Acting all refined now, aren't you? Brenda's voice, like a demon's, jolted me awake. I clutched the corner of the table tightly, terrified I'd give myself away. I looked at the table before me, knowing it was all specially prepared for me. Brenda, Marcus said he wants me home for lunch, so I won't eat here. Otherwise, he'll be upset. I didn't miss the jealousy in Clara's eyes. She didn't understand why Marcus had only noticed me that day, even though she was there too. She was convinced it was my fault, so she blamed me for everything. So you marry into an elite family and think you're too good for us now, huh? We're identical twins, so why do you get to marry into an elite family while I have to work my fingers to the bone in the fields? You two look alike. Maybe. Marcus was really interested in you, and UST managed to steal a march on you. Their unreasonable words fueled the hatred deep within me. I dug my nails into my palm to restrain myself, knowing the only thing to do now was to escape quickly. This was already a treacherous family dinner. If I didn't leave soon, it would be too late. Brenda, Marcus married me. He's coming to pick me up, and you don't want to see him lose his temper, do you? After all, they had witnessed his rage firsthand. That was precisely why, after I married Marcus, they had severed ties with me. But no one expected Marcus to adore me to the core, and everyone knew it. He said I was his salvation. I never imagined my family, who had once feared him, would now begin to scheme against me. In my previous life, I thought they had finally seen my worth and wanted me to feel the love of family. Instead, it was a treacherous family dinner. Clara, do you really think you can replace me? Marcus could tell which strand of hair was mine with his eyes closed. Because his love for me was truly etched deep into his very being. You fool, how could I be so stupid? Don't forget, this face is my greatest asset. Once you're dead, I'll be the perfect replacement by his side. As long as you die at the hands of his enemies, he will bear the blame and live a lifetime consumed by guilt. What do you think my purpose is then? My heart seized. I couldn't believe they had planned this even further ahead. I did die in the end, at the hands of his enemies. When he found me, I was barely recognizable, every inch of my body battered and bruised. He wanted me, so he had Clara by his side. Clara's value emerged, all she had to do was comply, and she would get what she desired. Even when Marcus eventually died, he left his entire inheritance to her. Stella, it's just a meal. Why are you making such a fuss? Clara pressed down on my shoulders as Brenda placed the meal in front of me, her eyes fixed on me. Brenda, Clara, if there's anything you need my help with, just say it directly. I'll help if I can. I knew there was no escaping, so I could only stall for time. Don't worry, you definitely can help. As she spoke, she tied my hands behind my back, leaving me unable to move. Let me go. Sit still, or you'll be the one to suffer. I didn't want to relive what happened in my past life. Marcus would be downstairs in at least 5 minutes. Brenda, I'm not hungry. You two eat. Seeing that I was unappreciative, they grew impatient. With a sharp slap, she hit the back of my head. You wretch. I'm telling you, you'll eat today whether you want to or not, or I'll knock you out. That's right, forget eating. Knocking her out is more practical. If you won't eat, then suffer a little. I looked at the stick in Doris's hand and couldn't help but tremble. Their eyes were full of hatred for me, without a trace of parental affection for their daughter. Although I told myself not to care, I'd endured it for so many years, and even in this reborn life, it still hurt. I lowered my head, but still couldn't resist asking. Doris, Brenda, do you still remember that I am also your granddaughter and daughter? Clara and I had the same face, but I wasn't as sweet-tongued or as adept at winning hearts as she was, so I was always overlooked. Your sister will provide for us. Will you? You just go off and enjoy the good life, leaving us behind. But you were the ones who wanted to sever ties with me. You brat, wrong is wrong. Stop making so many excuses. Grab her. I yelled towards the door. Marcus. I seized the moment of their stunned hesitation and ran out. They quickly followed me out. I was counting the seconds, knowing Marcus would be downstairs by now. All I had to do was run down. The exit was right in front of me, and I even caught a fleeting glimpse of Marcus. MMFFPH. Doris clamped her hand over my mouth and hit me twice. She was accustomed to farm work and incredibly strong. Marcus stopped. Did you hear a sound? Mr. Marcus, no. His hearing was excellent. He glanced at the fire exit and walked towards it. I struggled frantically. Seeing approach, they dragged me quickly towards the basement. As he got closer, the sound seemed to vanish again. He frowned. Had he heard wrong? He glanced at his watch, remembering he needed to pick up his wife. Just as he turned to leave, I used the metal scraping on my wrist to make a clanging sound against the basement door. You brat, you've really got some nerve. If I wasn't worried about not being able to enjoy the benefits later, I'd kill you right now. Marcus didn't know why, but a knot of dread formed in his stomach. He couldn't help but head downstairs. To his surprise, when he reached the basement corner, he saw Clara collapsed upstairs. Marcus, what are you doing here? Stella told me to pick her up, but I couldn't find her, and then I had a bit of a tumble. She rubbed her already reddened ankle. Marcus didn't approach her. Though their faces were very similar, the scent clinging to her disgusted him. But he didn't miss what she had just said. Go, check my wife's location. The moment he pulled out his phone, Clara's eyes widened. Marcus, could you help me up first? Marcus completely ignored her. Her anxious expression finally eased when she heard the phone power down. Behind them, the car engine roared to life. I kept kicking the door, hoping to attract Marcus's attention, but they discovered my attempt. A stick smashed directly onto my kneecap, and the pain made me break out in a cold sweat. Marcus watched the car pass by him, looking at it twice. MMPH, behave yourself, you lowlife. We should have strangled you back then. Unable to find me, Marcus grew anxious and began searching for my whereabouts. The security camera footage showed me entering but then I disappeared from view. Marcus, see? I told you Stella wasn't here. She asked me to pick her up, but I couldn't find her anywhere. Marcus finally realized the gravity of the situation. Just like in my previous life, after they caught me, they handed me over to Big's hideout. Big, she's all yours. Excellent. And no charge? Just say the word if you ever need anything else. I couldn't ignore the look in their eyes, wishing me dead. The fear of the torment from my past life resurfaced. I cursed my fate. Why couldn't I have been reborn a day earlier? I didn't even have a chance to escape. I suppressed my trembling body. I couldn't sit idly by and wait for death. I had to change the outcome of my previous life. Marcus soon received word of my location. I breathed a sigh of relief when Big answered his phone, realizing this was happening much earlier than in my past life, proving I had altered the course of events. Apologies, Mr. Marcus, but my orders are to kill her. You can only blame yourself for making too many enemies. I shook my head frantically. In my past life, they had tortured me for days and nights before Marcus finally found me. What benefits did Brenda give you? You're so obedient to them. Marcus can give you much more. Haha, I don't need anything. I just want him to suffer. I hear he loves you very much. If I destroy you, do you think he'll go insane? I bit the hand that reached for me. Ah, you bitch. How dare you bite me? Come help. I refused to let go. Seeing this, Brenda, afraid I would ruin their grand scheme, started pulling my hair while the other person kept slapping me. Let go. I said let go. The stinging slaps made my entire face swell up instantly. Finally, the pain became unbearable, and I let go. I'm telling you, if you don't get her properly trained to serve me, I won't do this business. Don't worry, just give us a little time. We'll make sure you're satisfied. When arrived and saw me lying there, disheveled and defeated, she laughed loudly. Go ahead, be arrogant now. You're not the high and mighty Mrs. Stella anymore. You won't obey, will you? Then you'll experience my wrath. I used the distraction of their talking to loosen my ropes and secretly grab a hard object behind me. Clara, I'm your sister. Aren't you afraid of being struck by lightning for this? I'm rich now, why would I fear being struck by lightning? Even would have to defer to me. I'm telling you, enjoy yourself before you die. I'm being very good to you, you should thank me. They were afraid of getting implicated in a murder, so they wouldn't do it themselves. Even if I died, Big, a man who would have a long rap sheet, would be sentenced directly if caught. They wouldn't bother to investigate further. Brenda, force her to drink the potion Big prepared. Doris, quick, grab her. Don't let her run. I pressed the GPS tracker in my necklace. I hadn't known about it. Big discovered it in my previous life, right before I died, and threw it away. Quickly tell Big, we can't drag this out any longer, we'll be discovered. Clara wasn't stupid, she couldn't afford to get herself into trouble. In the end, Big deployed hundreds of men to conduct a sweeping search of the entire The Bell. Don't let her escape. If she gets away, we're all finished. I could only run upwards, dodging their pursuit, but how could I be a match for them? There she is. Grab her. Excellent, I like that spirit. Only then does the conquest feel real. Watch closely as I tame this woman. I looked in terror at the railing behind me. The men were all leering at me, as if I were a piece of meat. Stay back. You dare jump? Look, your legs are trembling. Can you even climb up? Big was certain I couldn't escape. He dragged me until I was only in my boxers. I kicked him frantically. He grabbed my ankle and pulled me back, but I seized the opportunity and kicked him hard. I tried to roll over the railing, but they caught me before I could get over. Very well. I'll make sure you know what a fate worse than death feels like. When found the location, Big was pinning me down. Big, what do we do now that Marcus is here? In that moment, I finally breathed a sigh of relief. I knew fate wouldn't be so cruel to me. What about this woman then? Kill her and throw her into the sea. He had wanted to play around a bit longer, but it seemed there was no time. Clara didn't want to get her hands dirty, so she had Brenda take her place, then seized the chance to escape. Oh, Mr. Marcus, what brings you here? Hand over the person, and I'll let bygones be bygones. I was just trying to scare you. There's no one here. Go ahead and search if you don't believe me. Marcus was surprised by his calmness. But the tracker had indicated her presence right here, though it had just disconnected. After his men searched around, they indeed found no one. See? I told you. I was just messing with you because you stole my project last time. That's not illegal, is it? Normally, Marcus would have pursued the matter, but he didn't have the presence of mind right now. Marcus motioned for his men to prepare to leave. He scanned his surroundings but found nothing amiss. Listening to their footsteps preparing to leave, my heart grew increasingly anxious. If he left, I might truly die here just like in my previous life. Just as Marcus turned to leave, I used my head to push Doris away. She was completely caught off guard and slammed into the metal door with a clang. Gritting my teeth against the pain, I frantically slammed my head against anything that could make a sound. Open it. Wait, there's something indecent happening in there. Marcus ignored him, and with 2 swift blows, smashed open the hidden passage. Brenda and the other person looked as if they had seen their savior. Son-in-law, are you here to rescue us? Oh, this damned man is a monster. Marcus searched the entire hidden passage, but still found no trace of me. From that day on, I disappeared. Marcus couldn't find me, Big was constantly under surveillance, and Brenda didn't dare send me back, so she kept me locked in a room. Consider yourself lucky. If hadn't almost discovered you that day, you'd be a corpse by now. I was extremely weak. They fed me only once a day to deplete my strength, never letting me eat my fill, so I couldn't escape. Unable to find me, Marcus became extremely agitated. My necklace was eventually found on that ship, but I was gone. Big adamantly denied ever seeing me. They all speculated that I had jumped into the sea to escape. And since I hadn't returned after so long, I had most likely met with foul play, though no one dared to mention it. To calm Marcus down, they had no choice but to arrange for Clara to work by his side. Although he disliked the scent of Clara, her face became her most effective weapon. All she had to do was dress up as me and sit in the office with Marcus every day, and she would receive a large sum of money. This is all for you. Just play your role well and don't covet what isn't yours. Don't worry, Marcus. You give me money, I do the job. It's a purely transactional arrangement, I understand. She acted graceful and composed, never overstepping her boundaries, which made Marcus slowly let down his guard and grow more dependent on her. Since my disappearance, his emotions became increasingly erratic, only stabilizing when Clara was present. Everyone treated her with great respect, thinking Mr. Marcus must have fallen for her. She was self-satisfied. She had always believed she was no worse than me, so she was even more convinced that Marcus had surely been interested in her that day, and I had just gotten lucky. She took many of my belongings home. Listening to their joyous cheers, I knew they couldn't escape their fate. It was impossible for them to release me, so I could only try to lower their guard. Look at your sister. When she gets money, she brings it back to provide for us. And look at you, giving us a meager sum, like you were giving scraps to a beggar. I'll beat you to death, you worthless thing. After a knot. Her brutal beating, I learned to be docile. Every day, I was quiet and obedient, eating my meals and resting, observing their movements and noting the times they left the house. See? Without you, I'm the woman he loves most. Don't you know, now no one can handle him but me? He was actually interested in me back then, wasn't he? You just got lucky. She flaunted the things Marcus had bought her in front of me. Every single item was priceless. I dug my nails into my palm, forcing myself to appear calm. So if you're just obedient, I'll give you a bite to eat. I'm telling you, everyone says Marcus is in love with me, and his eyes are full of affection when he looks at me. Soon, I'll be the mistress of the haze, and you'll just be forgotten. I looked at her triumphant gaze, tormented by the hatred deep within me, restless and agitated. No matter how much she provoked me, I didn't say a word, just lay on the bed with vacant eyes. Perhaps seeing my lack of reaction, she got bored and went out to brag to Brenda. Brenda, I got another sum of money today. I'll treat you all to a good, expensive meal out. Oh, you go with Brenda. I'll stay home and watch this little wench, or else she'll mess things up. Clara glanced at me. I looked lifeless, struggling even to sit up, let alone run. It's fine. There's a security camera in the living room, she can't escape. Let's go. The moment I heard the door close, tears streamed down my face, not from sadness, but from the realization that I was finally saved. The moment Clara got home, she felt something was off. She immediately opened the room door and peeked in, seeing me peacefully asleep, and finally breathed a sigh of relief. Don't worry. We've been watching the security camera. Besides, it's the 10th floor, she'd die if she fell. She'd never dare. But the moment they turned to leave, a bloodthirsty smile curled on my lips. A few days later, Marcus had Clara move into the mansion where I used to live. See? I told you, he likes you. He just wouldn't admit it. Now that annoying obstacle is gone, he's finally realized how wonderful you are. They grew even more convinced that their decision had been the right one. But, he said, once I move in, I can't come home anymore, and I can't spend too much time on my phone. My mind has to be on him every day. Oh, those are minor things. Since you'll be together, of course, your mind should be on him. Don't worry about us. As long as you two are happy, Brenda will be happy. Brenda's right. Don't worry about us. Clara felt a bit strange, but thinking about the high society life she would soon have, she didn't dwell on it. Brenda, then you two take this money. I won't need any there, Marcus has arranged everything. This way, even if I don't come back, you'll still have money to spend. A daughter is truly the best. Don't worry about me, your good life has just begun. Clara looked at my pathetic state and wanted to laugh. See? I told you, my plan is absolutely perfect. But don't worry, I won't kill you. I want you to watch with your own eyes as I live the life of a wealthy lady. Clara, don't get too ahead of yourself. The higher you stand, the harder you fall. Don't say I didn't warn you. Slap, can't you speak properly? Talking to your sister like that. I'll beat you to death, you useless burden. Already weak from not having eaten my fill, I bit my lips tightly, enduring the pain. I didn't know how long they hit me until they finally grew tired and stopped. What are you staring at? Stare like that again, and I'll beat you every day. I sneered inwardly. Laugh all you want, enjoy your last days. Clara eagerly moved in the very next day. Looking at the mansion, even larger than their entire community in her lingering doubts vanished without a trace. Thinking about the life of ultimate luxury she was about to live, who would still harbor any suspicions? Where's my room? The maid led her to the guest house behind the main mansion and simply pointed to a room. Those two are empty. Pick one for yourself, then change into your uniform and get to work. What nonsense are you talking? I'm not a maid. I'm Mr. Marcus's distinguished guest. I want to see Marcus. She glared fiercely at the maid, who had absolutely no sense of propriety. Alfred heard the commotion and walked over. What's going on? Mr. Marcus doesn't like noise. Are you knowingly breaking the rules? Don't you want your job anymore? Uncle, this woman insists she's Mr. Marcus's distinguished guest. Clara had met Alfred before. He was the one who drove me home when I visited my parents. Alfred, you know perfectly well who I am. How dare she arrange for me to live in a room like this? I'm going to tell Marcus and have her fired. Alfred gestured for the maid to leave. She's right. This is your room. How is that possible? Mr. Marcus personally invited me here. I'm his distinguished guest. I'll tell Marcus that you've all been disrespectful to me. Alfred was unfazed. Clara glared at him with a look that dared him to wait. They're bullying me. They made me stay in the staff quarters. Is there something wrong with that? Clara froze in place. Why wasn't this how she imagined it? But you asked me to come here, not, as you said, you're here to serve me. And there are no other spare rooms in the house. She laughed awkwardly. Doesn't Stella have a room just for clothes? I wouldn't mind that. No one is allowed to touch her things. Clara fumed. The mansion in front was exquisite and luxurious, while this place seemed like a slum by comparison. If you don't want to stay, I won't force you. You can go home. Marcus's attitude was unfathomable. Everything had been fine yesterday. She cautiously spoke. Did I upset you? You were my wife's sister, and I needed your help. Why would I be unhappy? Clara couldn't quite pinpoint what was wrong, but she felt Marcus's words held a hidden meaning. And he wouldn't say so much to her, he usually just stared blankly. But being in close proximity would give her an advantage, and she couldn't abandon the mission. Perhaps was just testing her. So she still chose to stay, but every day she was woken before dawn to work. I'm not just Mr. Marcus's distinguished guest, I'm also his sister-in-law. How dare you make me work? Are you tired of living? She looked at the time. It was only 5 in the morning. Waking her up so early? They must be crazy. Miss, Mr. Marcus didn't return last night, so he asked you to prepare some breakfast for the driver to take to him. Alfred's attitude towards her was still somewhat polite. Although she wanted to refuse, once she heard it was Marcus's request, she dragged herself out of bed, no matter how unwilling. She spent the entire morning and produced 2 burnt messes. Alfred came over to remind her. Time is almost up. If you can't do it, then let someone else. I can do it. Just give me another chance. Alfred respectfully made a call to Marcus. Don't worry, sir. She won't be idle, nor will she have any chance to escape. Every day, Clara woke up at 5 in the morning to make breakfast, then lunch, dinner, and late-night snacks. She was stuck in the kitchen all day, constantly busy, sleeping only 5 hours a night, and became utterly haggard. Furthermore, she had been living there for half a month without even seeing Marcus. She wanted to complain but didn't dare, because every time she did, Marcus told her she could leave. Why is there no phone signal? Miss, the haze holds many secrets. We all signed confidentiality agreements upon entering. Not even the plants and flowers, not a single leaf, can be spoken of outside. She thought it was targeted at her, but hearing Alfred explain it that way, it made some sense. After all, the Hayes was the wealthiest family, and their standing was undeniable. Miss, our Mrs. Stella used to do everything herself. She never gave Mr. Marcus anything to worry about. She was beau RN to toil. I, however, was born to live like royalty. Alfred merely shook his head and reminded her that if she was unhappy, she could leave whenever she wished. Clara heard that Marcus would be back from his business trip in 3 days. She had waited so long for this opportunity, how could she give up halfway? Brenda thought I had been unusually docile these past few days. And every time they returned from an outing, they sensed a faint, elusive scent. What are you imagining? I've been watching the security camera the whole time. The footage was active, and it didn't capture anyone entering or leaving. She couldn't possibly fly down from the 10th floor, could she? I curled my lips into a smile and opened the door. Why you? What's going on? Weren't you tied up? Did you untie yourself? What's the big deal? Look at her, she's like a ghost. Where could she run? I could kill her with one punch. Brenda thought Doris was right, so she just gave me a dismissive glance and remained silent. Besides, Clara has already moved in to enjoy the good life. We'll find a chance to send her to the Maplewood, and then we won't have to bother with her anymore. I sat down and directly took Brenda's bowl. Brenda, I've grown up, and you've never once given me a hot meal, have you? She didn't understand why I was suddenly bringing this up. Eat, eat, eat. All you know is eating from morning till night. You're lucky to get any food at all, and now you want a hot meal? Brenda, even if you'd given me one hot meal, perhaps I would have softened my heart. She felt that I was a bit strange today, and my behavior was baffling her. Doris also realized something was amiss. Doris, our security camera has been tampered with for a long time, which is why you've only been seeing a static image. Brenda quickly pulled out her phone. Doris snatched it, and indeed, whether it was the past footage or the current view, it was the same static image, frozen in place. He was clearly standing directly under the camera, but nothing was showing on the phone. Someone just came in. I calmly took a bite of rice. Doris, your nose is sharp, but you're still foolish. You rebellious daughter. I'll kill you. Suddenly, the door burst open. Marcus stood outside, his face set with a murderous expression. The things in their hands clattered to the floor. Son-in-law, what are you doing here? What, if I hadn't known, how much longer would you have abused my wife? No, no, that's not it. We only found her a few days ago, and we wanted her to recover a bit before leaving. Stella, isn't that right? I said nothing. Behind were police officers, who immediately put handcuffs on them. No. Why are you arresting us? We haven't done anything illegal. You're just randomly arresting people. I'm going to report you. But the officer's next words made their faces drain of color. You are involved in Mrs. disappearance. You need to come with us for questioning. Mr. Marcus and his wife had already reported it. She was kidnapped, escaped, and then you imprisoned her. That's a compounded offense. No, we didn't. It's a misunderstanding. How could we do such a thing? But they weren't given a chance to explain. They tried to contact Clara, but she was nowhere to be found. Clara was still fantasizing that her good life would begin once Marcus returned. She had even dressed up specially and sprayed on perfume. How shameless! She actually thinks Mr. Marcus would fall for her, delusional enough to think she could replace Mrs. Stella. The two maids made frightened faces, then burst out laughing. I'm afraid you'll be the one crying then. Clara was truly fed up. Even a mere servant dared to bully her. This was completely different from what she had imagined. Hearing the sound of Marcus's car, she immediately put on a tearful, delicate expression. Mr. Marcus. The bodyguard stopped her. Marcus waved his hand, signaling her to approach. What's wrong? Are you unhappy? Marcus had a gentle expression. Tears streamed down Clara's face as she narrated how others had bullied her. That's certainly out of line. Then bring them here. Her joy lasted less than 2 seconds. What are you doing? Grab them. Why are you grabbing me? Mr. Marcus, help. With a thud, she knelt before Marcus. You like me? Yes, Mr. Marcus, I do. He lifted his foot and kicked Clara away as she tried to lunge at him. You're not worthy. Clara, you look quite disheveled. A bit different from what I imagined. Her eyes widened when she saw me. Why you? She had explicitly told Brenda to keep a close watch on me. Don't count on Brenda. They're already obediently locked up inside, unless you want to join them. Of course, Clara didn't want to go in. If she did, everything would be lost. Stella, I don't know anything. We've been close as sisters since childhood. Look, I thought you were dead, and I was worried Marcus would lose himself in grief, so I specifically took extra care of him. Ask Marcus if you don't believe me. Marcus said nothing, simply pulling me into his arms, as if he wanted to meld me into his very bones. Clara saw it, and the jealousy in her eyes was unmistakable. She fantasized that he was holding her. Marcus, I'm also willing to stay by your side without any title. Besides, how do you know you didn't notice me that day? But Stella, your scent is repulsive, and your face is too ugly. But she had a face identical to mine. She refused to believe it. Is she talking bad about me behind my back? You must have been interested in me that day. Look again, properly. Marcus had run out of patience. Throw her to Buddy for company. She's too noisy. Soon after, howls of terror echoed from the mansion. Just focus. She's just an irrelevant person. Why pay attention to her? I think Clara has a point. Is it possible you were interested in her, not me? In truth, Marcus hadn't even seen what they looked like then. He had always suffered from a sleep disorder and anxiety. It was the faint, elusive scent clinging to me that had captured his attention. So, that day, not only did he not know what Clara looked like, but he hadn't even gotten a clear look at me. When he found me later, he also recognized me by scent, so it was impossible for him to be mistaken. Clara was a bit deranged, talking to herself every day. It's you. You stole my husband. Give him back to me. Clara, you said you prepared for 3 years, and in the end, you got nothing. Do you hate it? Clara had a vacant stare. But you were clearly dead. He left all his inheritance to me. Why is it different from my dream? I was somewhat shocked. I hadn't expected her to remember things from her past life. I wouldn't be lenient with Clara. I wouldn't kill her, but her life wouldn't be easy this time around. Marcus sent her to the Maplewood, and once you're in there, it's very hard to escape. Clara, enjoy your new home. I'm leaving. Perhaps I won't have the chance to see you again. Ah. Why have I always been better than you, yet you've hogged all the good things? She had always resented me since childhood. She was clearly excellent, but teachers and classmates alike always preferred to play with me and often excluded her. The situation with Marcus made her completely snap. Clara, no one likes a person who only schemes all the time. They're not stupid. Her heart was blinded by greed, making her instantly unlikable. Stella walked out the main gate, and that stifling feeling finally dissipated. Thanks for watching today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and share it with your friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, so feel free to share your opinions. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories. See you next time.